Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays KSP. This is the new series. We will be playing KSP and we will be playing it stock as promised. So this is just the first game in the series. So let's make it. We start anew. It will be a career. The only mod that I'm allowed to have, and the only mod that I'm actually having, it's not actually not a mod, but it's a flag. And it's a flag of GrunfWorks, because, well, I made it and I like it. So, the name will be... GrunfWorks. I had Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, this one we'll just call GrunfWorks. Right. By the way, I'm recording this one live as opposed to many others that I've done before, so yeah, welcome to the Kerbal Space Center. As you can see, brand new save, no mods whatsoever, and we are at the beginning Space Center. So this is a completely new experience for me, so I'm gonna take it a little slow in this episode, specially focused so that you guys who might have just recently gotten Kerbal Space Program know. Also, I will contain a little bit explanation. If you're a more seasoned KSP player, I would seriously suggest you to skip this episode. Most likely. Anyway, this is the KSP complex. This is the Launchpad where we will be launching our rockets from. This is the runway where we will be landing and launching our space planes from. Now, apart from that, we have the following buildings. We have the mission control, where we can grab different missions from. So here we can, currently it only has 4 missions, but we will be able to get many more missions. And this is how you actually perform or acquire missions. Then we have the space plane hangar, which is a place where we will be designing our space planes. It's currently very basic, but it's gonna evolve over time. I'm just showing you these facilities. Then we have the vehicle assembly building, which is equivalent to the hangar, but here we will be building our rockets. And rockets, landers, rovers, and whatnot. Well, rovers we might do in the spaceplane hangar. Apart from that, we have astronaut complex, where we will be having our Kerbals. Yes. And by the way, guys, I mean... I will be in this save also renaming Kerbals towards the actual names. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that via the editor. I might allow myself only the mod that edits the name, but currently I'm playing with stock, so I'll let you know in the further episodes how it will go. I have to experiment with it a little bit more. Then we have the administration building where we will be researching and performing various strategies that will help boost our either science, output, public relations and whatnot. This is completely new for me. And then we have R&D, where we have our famous tech tree, which will be the technology nodes and parts that will be allowing us to build, along with archives on the planets which we have been visiting. And finally, we have the tracking station, which shows all the actual flights and what we currently have ongoing. Now, since I'm not playing with the Kerbal Alarm Clock and other mods, I don't think I will be doing parallel missions. Most likely not. We'll see. This is Kerbin and fine. So, okay. Now, how do we start from there? If you're a brand new player, then, well, yes, then we are in the same boat at this moment. Now, first things first, you do want to go to the mission control and grab some missions. So the very first mission is gather the scientific data from Kerbin. And that can easily be done. Goal completion, some cash, some awards, because why not? So, that one we're gonna take. And active contracts, you see now we have 1 out of 2. We can have 2. Right. The second one would be to launch our first vessel. So we'd like to officially start with a bang. A very controlled bang, preferably. Launch your first vessel off the launch pad or the runway to achieve this goal. Okay, sure. Perfect. There we go. So now it's a matter of gathering a little bit of data and kicking our science. So what do we got? We got the Mark 1 command pod, which is the place where our kerbals are being held during the duration of the long flight. Right, that being said, how do I move? Okay, never mind. This is the command pod, and then we have science. So currently, to perform science, I only have these mystery goo units, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be attaching one or two. I'm thinking just one for the time being. Perfect. And then we will be launching this vessel. Our pilot for today will be the Jebediah Kerman. As you see, this is very, very basic. So, righto. Jebediah Kerman, by the way, if your nav ball is in the middle, to me it gets in the way. If you ever want to move it, let me just show you quickly how you can do this. In the UI settings, you have an option to move nav ball position left, right. For me, this is the default position where I want to keep it because it's handy and it works for me. Right, so while we are here, let's first right click and say, okay, crew report. You record a crew assessment of the situation. A lot of science valuable just gotten right here. Then right click, observe the mystery goo. So the mystery goo from the Launchpad goo doesn't seem to be doing much now. Of course it doesn't, it has nothing to do. Right, then let's take Jebediah and take him to the EVA. We want to collect this data. Yes, I know it will render the obsolete. Let's take the data from here, let's store the experiments. Now, we can take the EVA report because we are standing on the launch pad. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? Of course not. Hi Jeb, say hi, wave to everybody. Alright. Well, grab and then board. Right. Now, what we can do in addition, I'm now doing a little bit of steering wheels, and I mean, don't do this at home, kids. This is not the best way to approach. Okay, stop spinning, please. Ooh, dangerous. Now, I do want to just roll myself a little bit off the launch pad, hopefully, and that should give us some extra science. I'm using this by the WASD. So, now, crew report. Again, we are still in the launch pad. Right. Let's tip this over and see if we can get a little bit further out. I'm really missing the mods where it tells you, oh, you're on the launch pad, you're no longer on the launch pad. So, yeah. And I mean, as you can see, we have performed the world EVA first, etc., etc. So in terms of contracts, okay. Now, what do we have here? Can we do a crew report now? Overwrite, yes. Still from the launch pad. Okay, let's see if we can EVA once again. Do we have an EVA report here? Still the launch pad. Okay, never mind. We will be moving from the launch pad sooner rather than later. So board anyway, dump experiments and recover. Right, so we have gotten some science for that. Total 11 science earned, which is nice. We have returned the command pod and goo, and we have returned Jebediah safely, and he is ready for the next assignment. Right, now, mission control, we could still do the escape the atmosphere, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So that was the science from the Launchpad. I could do the same for the spaceplane hangar, but what would be the fun in that now? Let's see. Okay, let's take this away and let's assemble our very first tiny rocket. So we have the Mark 1 command pod. Let's take the Flea solid booster engine and let's take just, I'm thinking I would want two. Yeah, I would assume two, maybe three. Three mystery goos. Nah, I'll take two. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So two mystery goos. And I do want to take... Where is my parachute? There it is. Because you know, guys, what goes up must come down. So now I will be fixing my staging. If you haven't seen me doing that, check out my tutorials for the KSP. Right, so I'm not gonna bother naming this spacecraft. Let's just launch it. The pilot once again being Jebediah Kerman. Okay, here we go. I will press T for the stability assist on, and then I will be, hold on, we have just here, gather scientific data, and world first milestone. So those were the contracts that we had. Now we have launch our first vessel as a contract. So 3, 2, 1, stage, and we are up and running, and as you can see we have achieved our first goal. Up, up and away, yes. Now might as well do the crew report while flying over Kerbin shores and observe the mystery goo, because mystery goo likes flying, so we're gonna keep those experiments. Yes. And I'm gonna lean slightly towards the 90-degree mark because we do want to be going sideways this time. And I will illustrate why. Launch our first vessel, yes. Achieve goal complete and world first milestones. We have broken a bunch of speed records, altitude, speeds, etc. Okay, well, so far so good. The only thing that remains now is to safely, and I mean safely, land this thing. Now, we are plunging down. I don't want us to be going too fast. And I'm also holding the stability, well, controls. I'm holding S and D because I want to be moving a little bit further out. Okay, we are decelerating, popping down the chutes. Once again by pressing space. And now when the chute pops, there we go. We have reversed ourselves successfully and right. So crew report. Overwrite existing crew report. Yeah. Well, we need to wait until we land safely at the sea, and then we will take another crew report. Yes. That will be happening sooner rather than later because we are at 150. All right, 50 meters to impact, and yes, we have safely, hopefully, yes, we have safely landed back on Kerbin. Now let's observe the mystery goo. The goo escapes into the water. Oops! Somebody catch it, please. Jebediah Kerman. Oh, and you tipped over the rocket. Well, that's fine. Collect the data. Yes, this will basically destroy the data. Yes. Store the experiments. Crew report. Can we do the EVA report from the Kerbin's water? keep the experiment. We can actually store the experiment. Yes, wonderful. Let go. Ooh, and face down. Okay, perfect. Yes, Jeb, we know you love to swim. Now, EVA report. I don't think... Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. Now, climb on top of it. This part always goes fun when I try to return Jeb to his... Well, you know what? Rather than me bugging it out, I'll just recover Jeb as is. And I have gotten some science and everything, and then we have another craft, which when we recover, we will have gotten a boatload of science. Right, and also we have fulfilled, I assume, the contract. So, this will be it for this episode. Very short, like I said. Like if you like, hit subscribe for more. And we will be starting to do some real stuff in the next one. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks, signing off.